Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Public Engagement Day, and thank you very much for joining us. I'm Tim Softley, Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Research and Knowledge Transfer, and it's my great pleasure to open this day. I'd like to start actually by thanking Lauren Deere and their colleagues in the Public Engagement team for putting on this day. It's looking like a really exciting day with a programme of panel sessions and workshops and presentations of awards, networking, and so and showcasing. So I'm sure we're all really looking forward to this day. And particular thanks to our external visitors and guests who are joining us. As many of you probably know, I'm retiring from my post as Pro-Vice-Chancellor Research at the end of August, and I've been here in this role for 6 years. And I thought I would just in this opening session share a few reflections with you on the progress we've been making in public engagement over the last 5 years or so, and just think a little bit about the future and the future opportunities. And at this point, I'm going to share my screen with you. And so just bear with me 1 minute. I'm on the wrong slide there. Sorry, I'm going to do that again. Okay, so a few reflections on the last 5 years. Well, one of the highlights, I think, was when we were awarded the Silver Watermark Award. That was actually in 2019 by a national award by the NCCPE. And when that award was made, I think we were certainly one of the first universities in the country to be awarded a Silver Award. And the comments that were made from the award committee talked about a strong commitment from our senior leaders, flourishing activity in a range of schools and settings. The central team worked with strategic purpose and intent, and engagement is increasingly being built into the university's systems and processes. And as one of the senior leaders told them, the time for engagement has come. And I think there was very much a sense then and throughout this period that we're on a journey. And I think that's still the case, but we are continually moving forward on that journey. The appointment of a Director of Public Engagement, Genevieve Adkins, was I think a significant moment, and she was our first Director of Public Engagement for the university, and of course she joined our Professor for Public Engagement with Science, Alice Roberts, in bringing some leadership to public engagement in the university, and she's built a team around her which is really transforming our approaches to public engagement. As part of that, we've restructured the public engagement steering group and committee structure, really bringing in more college interest and involvement with the development of public engagement. There was a big piece of work that's been done recently just to actually capture the amount of activity. I think this was the first time we'd properly captured all that was going on. This next slide is a bit of a summary, and I don't expect you to take all that in. And in fact, there are many things that are missing, as it says down below. This is a tiny snapshot of the myriad activities that are taking place. But some of these are centrally delivered, some of these are departmental or at school level, some of these are individual led, but a huge range of activity, exciting things going on. One of the main things we've been working on is the public engagement program for the Exchange, and I'll talk about that shortly. As part of that, we did some gap analysis work with the audience agency, and I think it's really important that when when we launch the exchange and take that forward, that we really think about how we can engage with audiences that really represent the breadth of the people of this region. Again, as part of that, we recently did our first ever public perception survey, actually in the area close to the exchange, and it revealed some interesting things. I think the university came out as having a lot of respect in the community. However, they really didn't know everything that we were doing with the community, with the city, and with the public. When we told them what we were doing with them, they were excited and impressed, but they didn't actually know all that well what all the great breadth of things we were doing. So that's something for us to think about in the future. Very recently, there was the National Knowledge Exchange Framework exercise, the KEF, and one of the categories for assessment in that, which was largely based on metrics, was in public engagement, and we came in the top 30% of English universities for that. I think we're actually this was based on self-assessment, and I think we were unusually modest in our self-appreciation. But I think to some extent that reflects the fact that we feel that we're still on a journey. My own view is that we're probably better than just the top 30%, but still very much a reflective sense in our self-grading there. We've also, apart from the exchange, had many building and developments and site developments which really make an important contribution to public engagement, and the Green Heart we have already used when it was first opened for public engagement activity. Some of you may not know about Tyseley, which is an energy innovation zone in East Birmingham, where we are about to open a new energy innovation hub. But there's great opportunities actually for engaging the public in sustainable energy and hydrogen-powered transport and so on in that region, associated with our investment in partnership with a local company, Webster and Horsfall, in an energy innovation zone. The BIFOR, our forestry institute out in Staffordshire, where we're doing these experiments on mature trees and CO2 levels, carbon dioxide levels. Again, there's a huge amount of public engagement that's already evolved around that, and again, great opportunities to engage the public. And of course, we're about in the autumn, we're about to open our Dubai campus building, pictured in the bottom right-hand corner here. And the way that building is designed, with a very open entrance hall and spectacular grounds, will actually enhance public engagement in the Middle East. So, and of course, this all adds to the other venues, the Barber, the Bramall, our use of the Aston Red building, Winterbourne, and so on. And so I think the message there is that the exchange is a fantastic opportunity for more public engagement, but actually we should be thinking about public engagement all over our campuses and beyond. So the exchange, this is a picture of the exchange, and actually if you were to go and walk around there, it would almost look like that. This is the south entrance, which is around the back from the Broad Street entrance, and this has been very substantially remodeled, and it does look like this now. And the square itself is not quite as complete as that, but this is a reality. We're calling this a place of curiosity, celebration, collaboration, and change. And this is just an amazing opportunity for the university to engage with people in the city, with visitors to the city. When the Commonwealth Games is on, the city is going to be flooded with international visitors. But to engage in its true sense of not just displaying what we're good at, but actually really listening, engaging in conversations, and co-creating new research projects and so on through that engagement. It's a really exciting opportunity. Now I'm just going to have a break in my presentation and show a video tour of the exchange. This is going to take about 6 minutes and gives you a very recent look inside this building. So here we go.
Welcome. I'd like to let you see the progress we have made on the refurbishment of the old municipal bank in Birmingham city centre. The building was purchased by the University of Birmingham and is being transformed into a place of curiosity, celebration, collaboration and change. We plan for the building to bring together communities to shape the ideas and solutions that will make our cities and regions better places to live, work and learn. Conveniently situated on the south side of Centenary Square opposite the new Central Library, Baskerville House and the Rep Theatre, the building is right in the heart of the city. It had stood empty for over a decade. It was riddled with asbestos and damp. We have worked hard to protect and restore the finishes. While we have made some dramatic changes, much of the old grandeur remains. In the centre of the building is the banking hall. This will become the beating heart of the exchange. It will be a place to enjoy a morning coffee or an afternoon tea, somewhere to meet, to chat, to exchange ideas. We have reintroduced natural daylight into the space and carefully restored many of the original features, such as the coffers, the clock and the motifs on the walls. And in the centre of the space is a cafe bar serving food and drink. Just inside the south entrance to the building is a foyer where we plan to install a series of engaging exhibitions which showcase some of the world-class research taking place in the university. Outside the south entrance is Bank Court, flanked by our neighbours, the HSBC headquarters and a nearly completed building which is due to be occupied by the Treasury. There are good views of the trees and benches in this courtyard from both of our new terraces on the second floor. Stepping off the terraces and inside the building, there is a breakout space where our guests can mingle before, during and after events in our main conference space, the Assembly Room. This space can seat 120 guests, theatre style, or 80 around tables. The space can be configured in a number of ways and is well suited for both conferences and dining. The adaptations we have made to the building include improving the acoustics, lighting and energy efficiency. There have always been many interesting and quirky details in the building, and we have added a few of our own. For example, here is our crest in the centre of a window overlooking the roof of the banking hall in a quiet nook on the top floor. This breakout space is beside the original walnut-clad boardroom, a space we have restored and set up for meetings of up to 16 people. You can step straight from the boardroom onto a private terrace with outdoor seating and 4 olive trees. On the first floor is a research office for 18 to 20 people. When the building opens, this will be occupied by some of the WM Ready team. Here is the working lounge, a flexible hot desk area where any member of university staff can work if they are in the area. Off this first floor corridor is a suite of 3 meeting rooms. With interconnecting doors, they can be used together or individually. Each of these meeting rooms has a slightly different character, but all are equipped with AV and flexible furniture to suit a range of different styles. This is the old bank manager's office, and like the boardroom upstairs, we've been able to retain the original walnut panelling. We have used some of the doors from the safety deposit boxes in the vaults to add a little interest to the furniture holding the display screens. On the deposit floor in the basement, we have restored the main vaults. Over 4,600 safety deposit boxes remain around the outside walls of this space, which can be used for events and public exhibitions. We hope this has given you a flavour of some of the things we have done to refurbish this building and prepare for our opening in September.
So I hope that gives you a glimpse of the exchange, and you will of course be able to visit it in the autumn when it's actually open, and we will actually have some of the exhibitions in place already at that point. The exchange, as you may have picked up, has a variety of different types of activity. One of the things that I felt all along has been really important with this is that there is some active research going on there, and the West Midlands Regional Economic Development Institute with WM Ready will be based there, and that's a Research England funded research unit in partnership with the West Midlands Combined Authority and other local partners. But particularly in the south entrance hall and in the vaults, this is where we will be our main base for a public engagement exhibition, and particularly for public engagement events. And those events will undoubtedly spill over into other areas of the building, probably into the main banking hall, but also upstairs into some of the other spaces. Also in the building, there'll be a leadership institute, which, if you think about a city like Birmingham and think about how that is led, then that is a very complex process and brings many challenges. And so the Leadership Institute is all about education and training and research for addressing such complex leadership. There'll also be a student entrepreneurship hub there, and opportunities for everybody to book spaces. As far as the public engagement program goes, we will have seasons, thematic seasons, and the first one of these, which will actually run from September all the way through to just after the Commonwealth Games in 2022, is the theme "The Air We Breathe." And what this slide is illustrating is that is a very broad theme, which actually gives opportunities for people from all colleges of our university to engage with public engagement activities, events, and so on, covering the breadth of that theme. There will be a special feature on three particular programs. One is the WM Air program, which is an NERC funded program about improving air quality and really understanding sources of poor air quality and developing policy through regionally based projects. Hydroflex is the hydrogen powered train, the first hydrogen powered train that we've developed, the first hydrogen powered train to run on the UK main line. And BIFOR is our forestry institute that I referred to earlier. So we'll have a particular feature on those, but the broader program will draw in many different aspects of our research and interests in this topic. One of the sessions at 12 o'clock in this program is being given by Metaphor, who are our design company, who've been working with us on designing the exhibition. So I won't say too much about this, but this is a figure showing the the south entrance hall. People come in from the bottom, from that square at the south entrance of the building, and there'll be a route around this space, which features some major exhibitions and exhibits in the middle, and information boards, and a voting wall telling the story. So yeah, if you want to see more about that, please go along to the session that Metaphor will be putting on at 12 o'clock. And this is a sort of artist's impression of what the entrance hall will look like, with a train and a tree, not a real tree, but yeah, to give an information board, just giving you a flavour of what that will be like. And this is down in the vaults, again giving you a flavour of how that might feel. Our intention is that this will actually be a very professional exhibition in the sense of really yeah, having the kind of quality that will really enable people to engage with it. So moving on from the exchange, we've been doing a lot of work with University Executive Board and University Council on developing a strategic framework for Birmingham, for University of Birmingham over the next 9 years or so. It's called Birmingham 2030, and our University Council approved this just last week. And this new framework, which really sets out what our goals and visions are for the future, has 6 pillars to it. Not surprisingly, research and education are up there, but I just want to highlight that engagement and impact is one of those 6 pillars, and very much on a par with these other pillars highlighted in green. And just to capture a few words from that document that will be launched in the autumn, under the engagement and impact pillar, it talks about engaging and working with our highly diverse local communities, talks about our campuses, assets and venues being open places for collaboration with our partners, a focus on active engagement of communities and the public. Talks about volunteering in that middle sentence there, and it talks about providing academics with resources, opportunities and inspiration to help them develop new and exciting ways to engage the public with their work. So it's a real statement by the university that we're serious about this. And another statement of our seriousness comes in something called the Birmingham Academic Career Framework, which is being developed. But in that new, which will be introduced from next year, in that new career framework for academic staff, we've developed some new promotion descriptors, and actually there'll be a point scoring system, and people will have the opportunity to score points under different headings. But I think the point I want to make here is that we have introduced a category here, enterprise, engagement and impact, which actually has equal weighting in this scoring system to education and research. So again, I think that really is a measure of how important we regard engagement and impact in this university. And also, at the moment, some of our academic staff are more teaching focused, and others have what we call a three-legged contract, which is more with research, education, and administration and leadership and so on. But under the new system, there's an additional explicit career pathway which will allow some of our academic staff to focus specifically on enterprise, engagement and impact. So the next session is going to be about the broader context for public engagement. I just wanted to draw out a sentence from the UK government's research and development roadmap for 2020. It's talking about applied research, how it's critically important to addressing significant issues, healthy aging and so on, climate change, net zero. But underneath that paragraph, it says this needs to be underpinned by engagement with the users of research, the wider public, investment in facilities. And the bottom sentence says, this is how we will come up with solutions to the big problems, deliver efficient and effective public services and improve lives. So this is important to the government. And as you know, there's been much attention being given to scientists during the pandemic. These are the Oxford vaccine developers, and you know who these two people are at the bottom are. But scientists have certainly been in the public attention, and that really gives us an opportunity in the future to explore our research with the public and engage them with it. At the university, our research covers many of the important topics of our day: climate change and sustainability, whether that be in energy, transport, circular economy, and so on. Future pandemic resilience, economic recovery, inequalities, and future adoption of new technologies, artificial intelligence, and so on. Culture and heritage. I think those of us that are lovers of culture and heritage have missed this enormously during the pandemic, and I think there's a real place for the university to understand that role of culture and heritage and bring it back to the people of this city. But we mustn't forget our basic research too. There's a lot of news about the Mars landings and so on, and that can be related very much to some of our basic research in astrophysics and so on. So we mustn't forget that. There are many opportunities coming up. The Commonwealth Games is a fantastically exciting one. The COP26 conference in Glasgow, we're going to be very active. I think our hydrogen train is actually going to be there in Glasgow. But we're also planning a lot of activities. You can see those on our university website now, associated with COP26. Expo 2020 is opening in Dubai. And we have a major forum for global challenges coming up in Birmingham, which our Institute for Global Innovation is leading. And we're hoping to get about 1,000 people in Birmingham for that. And then just finally, my final thought here is just, you will undoubtedly, this is a digital conference, and Lauren was saying to me beforehand that this is the first digital public engagement meeting she's organised, and I think it's looking great. But this picture is from the Royal Society Summer Science Exhibition website, which is live now, I'm on the Royal Society Public Engagement Committee, but we were discussing a couple of days ago about what the future is going to look like. I mean, there's some really exciting things. You should go and have a look. It's free to go and have a look. Some really exciting things on that site, digital games, and you can go and move a robotic surgeon's arms, or you can have a virtual bird flying around in your back garden and watch its flight path and things. I mean, there's some really innovative things in that, and we need to be thinking about, in this digital and hybrid world, what are the opportunities in the future. So my time's up, and in summary, I think I talked about us being on a journey, and I think we are still on a journey, but many of the things that we've put in place as a university make the direction of that journey irreversible. We're definitely moving forward into the future. I certainly look forward to seeing the exciting public engagement that's going to evolve, and I'm confident that my successor, Heather Widdows, is a perfect person to take over and continue to support the agenda. So I wish her well in that, and thank you all. I'm now going to hand back to Lauren, who will tell us about the next session.
Thank you very much, Tim. That was a wonderful introduction to the day. So the next session in our programme is our plenary session, which is called The Changing Environment of HE Engagement and Impact, chaired by Professor Alice Roberts and including panellists Dr. Steve Scott from Public Engagement, who's the Public Engagement Lead at UKRI, Professor Heather Widdows and Genevieve Adkins. So to take part in the session, you just need to follow the link in the programme, and we'll just take a couple of minutes to get that session set up. So if you want to follow the link and then the waiting room, and we'll let you in as soon as possible. But yeah, we really value your contribution in the session, so please feel free to share your thoughts and questions with us during the sessions. And remember to join in on the conference online and via Twitter at UOB Engage. Stop this so you can see, at UOB Engage, hashtag UOB PE Day 2021. Thank you very much for coming to this welcome, and we'll see you shortly in the next session.